What I really gave up when I stopped eating meat. Hey, in case you don't know me, my name's Jason Chaney, and I'm one half of a husband and wife team, and we're dedicated to helping you reclaim your physical and financial health. And I specialize on the physical side. So the question I got for today was, with all this talk in the news and media of people of why I'm no longer vegan, would I ever give up meat? And so I get this question a lot online, and I get a lot from, especially from people here in South America, because it's just not a normal thing for someone who doesn't eat any meat or animal products. And so I thought I would just go ahead and break down what I really gave up when I stopped eating meat, just so you help you understand. So if you don't know my story, I was a disabled veteran. About 6-7 years ago, I knew I had to change my life drastically. I hit a very rock bottom, and that rock bottom was me and my wife. We were getting ready to go to our diner that we go to every Sunday, and we usually get the normal chicken fried steak, smothered potatoes, all of those things. But this time it turned out to be very different. I was sitting up in our California king size bed, and I had to call my wife in, and it was very scary for me because I wasn't able to bend down to put my shoes on or tie them up. So I went from someone who was in war to now literally can't tie my own shoes. And for me as a man, it hit my ego really hard. I didn't get married for my wife to become my caretaker or caregiver, and I wanted to always be a provider and a protector for her. So from that point on, I knew I had to discover some way to figure out how to live again and get healthier. And so for me, we went on a drastic journey. We sold our house, sold everything, and moved out of the country because we was like, we got to change everything that we know. And from that, we started discovering plant-based living and started understanding that living on a plant-based life, you can actually start to reverse some things that's going wrong with your body. I didn't know how good it could be, and honestly, I didn't believe that most of it could actually be reversed. I believed in the modern medical system of you get older, these things happen to you, and what you eat have nothing to do with it. But this is the truth. As I discovered, and I stuck to it and kept eating a plant-based lifestyle, my life changed drastically, and I didn't believe it was possible. Sometimes even today I wake up and I can't believe my life used to be what it was. So I wrote some things on the whiteboard here. I don't know if you can see it good, but I'm gonna read them out for you and just show you what did I really give up when I stopped eating animals. So the first one was I was pre-diabetic. Most of my friends and family didn't know this because most of my illnesses I kept secret. It was just between me and my wife. No one really knew what I was struggling with. So I was pre-diabetic. The second one was I was using a CPAP machine to breathe. I remember clearly the night that I woke up choking and I didn't know what was wrong, and my wife rushed me to the VA hospital, and then a week later they had put me in a sleep study, and they told me that I was one of the worst cases that they ever seen come through, that I stopped breathing over 60 times within an hour. And so the fear of not knowing if the next night, if I'm going to be able to wake up or if my wife is going to wake up and see a lifeless body was terrifying me. The third one was hypertension. I had severe hypertension. It was actually so bad, every 2 to 3 months they would have to change my prescriptions for blood pressure pills because it was uncontrollable. And there'd be times where I almost come to where I'm blacking out because of how bad it was. Fourth one, after I had my spinal surgery, I had severe neuropathy in my left leg. So most people didn't know this. They saw that I was walking with a cane sometime, but they didn't know why. I actually had a prosthetic inside my shoes because I was suffering from drop foot. I had lost all feeling below my left knee. So I wasn't able to walk. I was tripping over myself all the time. And even walking around the house, I had to use it's not a wheelchair, but it's like a wheelchair walker just to keep myself mobile and move around the house. And the fifth one was chronic pain. I was in pain all day and all night. Literally, I wasn't sleeping. The chronic pain was leading to insomnia, so I would probably get like an hour sleep a night. Like, it was just horrible, just sitting down. So I was angry all the time. Like, sitting down, I was in pain. Getting up, I was in pain. Walking, I was in pain. Laying down, I was in pain. Just living was painful for me. So I started to feel like, what was the point of living if it's just pain? And so switching to a plant-based diet, this is what was miraculous to me, and I didn't believe it was possible. And so for pre-diabetes, 1 month being consistent on a plant-based diet, my pre-diabetes was gone. I started having normal blood sugar levels with no problems. So now I wasn't worried about having to ever take insulin like my grandmother did and things like that. Second one, CPAP. In 6 months, it was before 6 months, I knew something changed because the machine was actually pushing too much air. The machine was actually waking me up from my sleep. And I remember talking to my wife and I was like, I think I can breathe on my own, but I was scared. So it took me 6 months. After 6 months of consistently eating a plant-based diet, and then I just said, you know what, let me take this step into fear and let me just try one night. After that one night, it's been about 3 years now. I have not used a CPAP machine. I actually threw it away back when we were in Panama. And so not having that fear of, is my wife going to wake up to a dead corpse, especially while we're living in a foreign country, like not having that fear anymore. Like, I don't know how to explain in words how satisfying and how much happiness that brings to my life. Hypertension. After 3 months, my blood pressure levels started to regulate on their own. I haven't been on any blood pressure pills for a little bit over 4 years now. Have no problems while I'm standing up, getting up, walking, any of that. So even like how I used to be where it would come to where I could feel where I'm about to pass out or something because my blood pressure levels were getting so high, I haven't had that problem at all in the past 4 years. Neuropathy. Now this one was crazy. This one really, really shocked me. So I watched it wasn't a documentary, it was a webinar from Dr. Greger, the author of How Not to Die. And he explained how he's seen cases where on a plant-based diet, people actually started to regrow nerve endings. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. You know, I went to that crazy place. I already saw that I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I'm not using a CPAP anymore. I no longer need hypertension, which I don't know about you, but I was told I'm gonna have to take blood pressure pills for the rest of my life. I was like, is there a way? I just had belief that if there's just a way. He said there was a way, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to regrow the nerves in my legs, see if this neuropathy can go away. In 7 months, the neuropathy went away. I could feel the nerve endings coming back to life. I could feel it in my foot. And being able to walk again without falling over, without needing a wheelchair or any type of assistant devices like a cane, without needing prosthetics in my shoes. One thing they don't tell you about when you start using those prosthetics in your shoes, they tear your shoes up. So I was going through shoes like every 3 to 4 weeks. I had to buy a new pair of shoes. So it was those hidden costs of if you're not taking care of your health that I didn't know about. And now, like, I walk about 100 to 180 miles every month, going from someone who couldn't walk to being able to walk 100 and 180 miles. And it's not a miracle. It was using a proven step and a proven system to do it. And also eating a proven lifestyle that provides you optimal health. And then chronic pain. So it took a year and 2 months, and that's when I started to notice I didn't have chronic pain anymore. And one of the things that was funny about it is I could feel the inflammation leaving my body each month. It was just less inflammation. Then it came to a point where I didn't feel any inflammation anymore. And that's when I knew between the neuropathy and the chronic pain, this is no longer a diet for me, it's my lifestyle. So there's a difference between vegan and whole food plant-based eating for your health. So vegan is it's a moral issue, it's an ethical issue. If you have moral and ethical issues against the way factory farming is, the way animals are being tested on, things like that. I do share some of those opinions, but that's not my identity. My identity is this right here. This is what I care about, is people understanding that they can have the health that they desire. Like, what would it feel like for you if you had the health that you actually desired? Or what would it feel to not have chronic pain anymore? So I have just a quick exercise for you to do. Just take time and write it down when you get a chance. So write down the top 5 things that you're suffering from, whether it's an illness, whether it's pain related, even if it's taking prescription pills, the top 5 things. And then over here, just write, and then on the right-hand side, write down, what if in 1 year that went away, how would that look for you? How would that feel for your life? How would that feel for your family? 1 year. All of these things right here was taking away years off of my life, taking years away from my marriage. And I was able to get those back just by changing what I put in my mouth and changing the way my whole eating lifestyle. And so I just really want you to think about that. What would 1 year look like from today if all of these things no longer existed? And so tomorrow I'm gonna share with you another exercise to go with this. And so I hope you really like that, and take care. Ciao.